welcome back to a brand new video on the channel, guys. So what I have for you guys today is once again going to be quite a discussion based video actually, which I'm interested to hear some of your guys' opinions on. So earlier on in the week we had the EFL awards going on. So in today's video, guys, first of all we're going to be discussing all of the people who did win an award at that night. As well as that, we also had the PFA Championship Team of the Season announced this week as well. That's a little bit different to the one which the EFL gave, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that as well. And then in the second half of the video, I'm going to be going ahead and giving you guys what I think has been the young team of the season for the championship this year. So what that's going to be 11 players who I think have had exceptional seasons and who are under the age of 23, or at least they were when the season did start. So for that young team of the season, I've decided not to include the players who already made it into the championship team of the season. So that excludes some players who would normally make it, like Ryan Sessegnon, like Ruben Neves, and James Maddison as well. I decided to pick a completely new 11 of young players who I think have had fantastic seasons in the championship and who deserve to be recognised, really. So I'd be interested to hear from you guys, who has been your club's best young player so far this season, and who do you think overall have been the best young players this season in the championship? Let me know down below. So I'll start out the video, guys, by going ahead and talking about the EFL awards. So first of all, Ryan Sessegnon just won a ridiculous amount of trophies and awards in this one, really. Of course, he has had a phenomenal season. I'm not going to take that away from him, but there are a lot of Wolves fans who were quite angry that Ruben Neves didn't win the Player of the Year, and in my opinion, this is how it should have gone down, really. I believe that Ryan Sessegnon, being the younger player, should have won the Young Championship Player of the Year, and then as in terms of the actual Championship Player of the Year, I myself probably would have given that to Ruben Neves. So I'll leave a poll for you guys to vote on for who do you think has had the better season out of Ryan Sessegnon and Ruben Neves. I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinions on that, as we've had quite a few conflicting ones over the last week or so. And of course, as well as the EFL awards, we also had the PFA Championship Team of the Season released, and in my opinion, I think it is a little bit better than the official championship one. So this is who the PFA decided to go for. They still went for John Ruddy in there. I'm still a bit unsure about that. Still went for Ryan Fredericks, but they did change their defenders. They did include a Cardiff player. They decided to put in Sol Bamba, and they also put in Willy Boly at the back as well. And then of course they had Ryan Sessegnon at left back. So already I think this team's looking a bit better than the other one. They also decided to include the same midfield three as the other team did. They have Tom Cairney, Ruben Neves and James Maddison. I don't think that can be really argued with, so fair enough for them including that. But then the forward three are a little bit controversial perhaps. We have Matej Vydra, Leon Clark and Bobby Reid in there. I think, you know, there'll be a lot of Wolves fans who could throw in a claim for really any of their attackers going ahead and getting into this team, and you could argue that maybe someone like Jota deserves his place in this team over someone like Leon Clark, but nevertheless it's still a decent team from the PFA, and there's no John Terry in this one. But guys, we will now move on into my young championship team of the season. So let me just reiterate what the rules are for a player to go ahead and make it into this side. So for a player to make it into the young team of the season, by my jurisdiction really, they have to have been under the age of 23 when the season went ahead and started. And I must also say as well that some players I've decided to not include in this team. So the players who actually made it into the official championship team of the season I'm not going to include in this young team, as I feel like a couple of other players deserve recognition. So that rules out some players like Ruben Neves, Ryan Sessegnon and James Maddison from going ahead and making it into this team. Of course, without that, of course they'd make it into this team regardless, but as I wanted to highlight a couple of different players for this video, they won't be included. So before I go ahead and rattle through, I'm playing a 4-4-2 formation for this team, so that gives you guys a bit of idea where I'm going with it. But before we actually get into it, I want to say some honourable mentions of players who just missed out on getting into my team. So we had Joe Williams from Barnsley, quite unlucky, Angus Gunn from Norwich, Josh Earl, David Brooks from Sheffield United, I think has been pretty good, and Calvin Phillips from Leeds as well. Those players just missed out on my team, but without further ado, guys, let me go ahead and show you. So coming in as my goalkeeper in my young championship team of the season, I've actually gone for Joe Wildsmith of Sheffield Wednesday. Now, for me, it was a bit of a toss-up between him or Angus Gunn of Norwich, and I was going back and forth between them really, but I'm going to include Joe Wildsmith. I'd say that for Sheffield Wednesday's season, for how inconsistent it has been, the one constant player for them this season has been Joe Wildsmith, and I wasn't anticipating him to be as good as he has. Of course, we had Kieran Westwood get injured for Sheffield Wednesday. That of course meant that Wildsmith had to step up, and he's more than done that. The amount of points that he saved Sheffield Wednesday this season, I think he deserves a place in the team. Coming in at right back, we actually have Callum Paterson of Cardiff City. Now, I was a bit surprised that Callum Paterson actually qualified to make it into this team, but he is younger than I actually thought he was originally. But, of course, he has played most of his games as a central midfielder this season, but he has played at right back quite a few times, and there wasn't really anyone else I could think of. So, Callum Paterson's going to make it in as the right back in this team. I think he's been an excellent signing for Cardiff whenever he has been fit, and popped up with quite a few important goals as well, and he's got quite some interesting celebrations. Giving in as our first centre-back into this team, we have Millwall's Jake Cooper, and what a partnership he has formed this season, both Hutchinson and Cooper. So Cooper's going to make it into this list, as of course he is currently 23, was just under that when the season did start, but of course he signed from Reading this season in the summer, and he has been absolutely phenomenal, you know, taking into consideration especially the recent form that he's been under. Defensively, he has been absolutely immense this year, and without a doubt deserves to make it into this team. Coming in as our second centre-back into this list, we are going to have Preston North End's Ben Davies, and I already know I'm going to be called biased in the comments down below, but I honestly think that this is a fair shout. Ben Davies for Preston this season has been absolutely phenomenal, considering that 2 years ago he wasn't even, he was probably like our fourth choice left back. Now for him to be one of our best established centre-backs at the club really does speak volumes about him, of course. Last season he was loaned out to Fleetwood Town. I think that loan move did absolute wonders for him. As a ball-playing centre-back this season, he has complemented Paul Huntington exceptionally, and I'm really looking forward to what the future does actually hold for Ben Davies, because this season he has been immense for us. Then coming in at left back, we have Fulham's Matt Targett. Now, he was actually a January signing. Of course, he's come on loan from Southampton, so maybe a bit of a controversial pick as he has only played half a season for Fulham, but in those games he has been absolutely instrumental to how fantastic this unbeaten run that they've currently gone under. Matt Targett as a left back, I think he's fit into that system that Fulham like to play effortlessly, and him as a left back and then Ryan Sessegnon as a left winger, whenever I've watched those two play, they've interchanged fantastically, and I think that they really complement each other. So Matt Targett, I think he'd be brilliant if Fulham did go ahead and buy him in the summer transfer window, as I think he's been great for them. Then coming in as our first centre mid into this team, we're going to have Aston Villa's Jack Grealish. Now, he has had, I think, a couple of injury problems throughout the year, but when he's been able to put down a sustained period of time when he has been playing for Villa, he has been absolutely fantastic, and that was just epitomised by the volley he scored the other week. An absolute exceptional goal from him. But I think that Grealish in this Aston Villa system that they like to play, he is pivotal to them having a good game, really, you know. The way he's been able to unlock defences this season, both by running at them and picking his pass going through, he is that creative source going down the middle for Aston Villa, and if they are going to have a chance of going up through the playoffs this year, Grealish is going to be absolutely central to that. Then as our centre mid to partner him, we are once again going to have another Preston player. I apologise guys, but I just couldn't leave him out. We have Preston's Alan Brown. Now, this season, I'd probably say that Alan Brown has been our player of the season. In previous years, he's always been that sort of solid player, but never really has been exceptional. But this year, he's been able to add a lot more goals to his game, and his overall play has just been absolutely fantastic. The way that he complements Ben Pearson in midfield is absolutely great. He's got a fantastic engine on him, and like I said, this season, he's been able to add that final product to him, you know. Some of the goals that Alan Brown has popped up with this season have been absolutely outrageous. He's scored some fantastic chips, scored a goal from the halfway line as well, and he scored a ridiculous volley in, I think, the FA Cup as well. So Alan Brown, I think, deserves his place on this list. He has been fantastic for us this year. And as our right mid into this team, we are going to have Jared Bowen of Hull City. Now, Bowen this season has managed to pop up with 13 goals, and the way that he started the season was absolutely mad, really. And Hull this season, they have had a very turbulent season, but I'd say that one of the best things to come out of it has been the development of Jared Bowen. I think that in the summer there probably will be some Premier League clubs sniffing around him. You know, his ability on the ball and his final product as well this season has been absolutely exceptional for a player as young as he is. Then coming in as our left winger in this young team of the season, this one once again can't really come as a massive surprise. We're going to have Diogo Jota of Wolves, and this season he's been able to pop up with 16 goals and 5 assists as well. I'm not gonna lie, I was quite surprised that he wasn't included in the PFA Championship team of the season, as of course they were allowing lone players to go ahead and make it into that, so I was a little bit surprised that he didn't make it into it. But nevertheless, at only 21 years old, he has been an absolute joke this year. He's been able to fit effortlessly into that system that Wolves have played this season, and moving up to the Premier League, I'm really excited to see how he's actually going to do next season. Then as our first striker coming into this team, we are going to have Ollie Watkins of Brentford. Now, considering that this is actually his first season in the Championship, I think he's actually fit in very well. Of course, Brentford are a side who like to play fast attacking football, and Ollie Watkins has really been able to fit into that system. Throughout the year, he's played in a number of positions really, you know. He's played on either wing, played as an attacking midfielder and as a striker as well, so he's quite flexible in the positions he can actually play. But this season, he's managed to pop up with 10 goals and 4 assists as well, and Brentford, they still do have an outside chance of the playoffs. I think that Ollie Watkins is a big reason for that. As for our last player coming into this young team of the season, we're going to have Alexander Mitrovic of Fulham. So once again, maybe a bit of a controversial pick, as he has only played half a season. Of course, he was signed on loan from Newcastle in January, but you cannot ignore the impact he's had for this team. He's managed to pop up with 10 goals in 12 starts, which is just absolutely ridiculous for Fulham. Of course, he's been one of their main reasons, once again similar to Target, for their ridiculous rapid rise up the Championship since January. And if Fulham are to go up this season, they've got a lot to thank Mitrovic for, that's for sure. There is a case to be made that I could have included Ollie McBurney in this team as well. He's a little bit unfortunate not to make it in, but I just feel like Mitrovic has had a slightly better year. So guys, as you can see on screen now, that is my Championship young team of the season. So let me know down below, guys, do you agree with my team or not? I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say. But apart from that, guys, that will now wrap it up for this video. So if you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure to subscribe for some regular Championship content. But apart from that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.